Hey everyone, time to purge. We're back with Stanley. Let's get going, shall we?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Stanley also gets tied up on the railings. can we open this door? No. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Damn it.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Before we leave, I'd hate to be the guy that has to get the books off that very top shelf. And then push the button.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'd never escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Okay, maybe not that much.
Nope, still on board with death.
Well, as you're walking down this long hallway, I was thinking,
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
So before I jump in there, I was going to say, can you imagine this game was narrated by like James Earl Jones or Morgan Freeman or Clint Eastwood? Ooh, what about Mark Hamill? That'd be great. Have him do it as a Joker voice? That'd be awesome. That'd be totally awesome.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
I don't want to die.
Farewell, Stanley.
I really don't want to die. Ah!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I see that we're in a museum. This is cool. Only thing this is missing is like some really crappy museum music. Oh, let's take a look around. Guess, well, those are nature paintings. Stanley's computer. The office lab. Guess what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spend a few seconds in front of the sign, give everyone a chance to read it. Can we crouch? Ooh, wow, that's too far. Cool. I got a random desk. Then we have some doors that are called the office. Hey, you know what? You know what we have here, guys? We have real fake doors. That's right. These doors are fake. See, look. Won't open. Won't open. Won't open. So come on and get some real fake doors at www.realfakedoors.com. Button sounds. Uh-huh. Okay, so those are sounds. That's a board. And it's a filing cabinet. Yep, clearly. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Let's see, what are they running? Couldn't tell ya. Solitaire. And a database. Oh, we even have the credits here. Kevin Brighton's the narrator. Never heard of him. Well, if someone wants to leave a comment on who Kevin Brighton is, that'd be great. We'll pin it. Okay, let's keep going. We'll check out each floor before we go up to the next one. Well, that's the maintenance room, alright. And that's a wall. Alright. Let's go check out the other side. That's a neat dome. I like that. That's pretty cool. An office clock. And according to the office clock, it is almost 11:30. And the Eastern time, it is 12:20 p.m. Timestamp. Brilliant. Oh, okay, so instead of just having an escape on a little cardboard sign, it actually made like a little wall for it. Kind of like the cardboard sign. That is a good call.
Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story. Stanley pushed the orange lever. Stanley walked over the bridge.
Well, it'd be nice to hear him,
Now
but
look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. When Stanley came perfect example of core level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively. Where were all of his fundamental understanding of good and
I don't
bad
know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing?
Next hour
Does
trying
that
to
sound
solve
plausible
it.
to you?
Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. Stanley walked.
I can hear him. It's kind of difficult to hear him, so let's just move on. Okay, shall we go to the second floor? Oh, there it goes. Huh. Neat. Oh, more of the Freedom Engine. Monitor room elevator. Oh, looks like they had a lot going on for the Zundin. Well, I'm glad it took that engine out. Oh, that would have been cool. Aw, they should have put it in the museum. Focus! Some audio would have been nice. So you get to hear me talk. Gotta go for my delicious lemonade. So how you doing? You doing good? I'm doing good. Just sitting here playing this game, talking to you. If you think about it, I'm talking to you in the present time, but the time you watch this, my present time will be yesterday, and your time will be your present time. So technically, I'm talking to you from the past. Paradox. And let's move on. Which way did we come from? Yeah, we came from that way, so let's go this way. I hear a ticking sound though. Oh. Cool. More of the office? That's funny. Ooh. Oh. Well, looks like the Warzone thing would have been cool. Maybe they make a Stanley Parable too. You know, they could put that in there. That'd be cool. Okay, it looks like we're back on the first floor. Oh, we have a room. Oh, cool. Let's take a look at these emails. Kind of bright though. The game featured capybaras? Capybaras? What's a capybaras? G tape with boxing gloves on. I don't know. What is the difference between a duck? Oh, a duck and what? Let's read a couple more, then we'll keep going. The significance of that number is it has a lot of ones. Alright, moving on. Oh. Okay, kind of simple. I'm liking this one. It has 2 computers. That's all. Okay, so it looks like we visited everything, and there's the exit. Well, let's go. Let's get out here.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay, I shouldn't do that.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
I'm flipping a coin. Crap.
time...
Okay.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
I didn't know I could close that. Okay, we're just aimlessly walking around now. Hold on.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Would it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
If you remember in the last video, we selected yes, so we had to come back and do no. Alright, let's begin the game. One more time.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time. When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep, we gotta go through this lounge again.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Could, but we're not.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Alright, well, with that said, on time to purge. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We're still finding new endings. We still have a lot to go through. That said, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share. You know, all that helps. Until then, goodbye.